Hi Flosstube, my name is Carol. I live in Arlington, Virginia, right outside of Washington, D.C., about 2 miles from the White House. And this is my first Flosstube video. I have been wanting to do this for a year, and I've been a scaredy cat, but today I'm gonna do it. The house is empty except for me, the 2 dogs and 2 cats. So you may hear them. Somebody, walks by and they bark. And one of the cats may probably end up sitting like right here in front of me staring at you with him. I don't know. The odds are good that that's going to happen. But we're going to trudge on through and make this video. This is my first take, by the way, so hopefully it works. Like I said, my name is Carol, and I have a wonderful husband of 22 years named Dale, and a wonderful son, Joshua, who is 18, senior in high school, getting ready to go to college, and they are both out of the house right now. But I have a picture. Hopefully you can see them. These are my guys. This was taken in November, this past November, the Thanksgiving Day football game at Dallas Stadium. They're big Dallas Cowboy fans, and my husband's job with a nonprofit took him to Jerry Jones's, I guess his owner's suite, and they got to have Thanksgiving dinner with Jerry Jones and 100 of his friends. It was the highlight of their lives, I think. So that's Dale and Josh. I got a husband who's out of my league and a son who's out of this world. I'll put this down. It's hard keeping everything organized. 2 cats, 2 dogs, animal lover. I live in, like I said, Arlington. I have not always lived in Arlington. I've lived in the D.C. area for almost 8 years. But I was born and raised in Hagerstown, Maryland, which is about an hour west of D.C. and Baltimore, a small town. In fact, I was looking at a Kathy Barrett's pattern from years ago, and it had her name on it and her address, and it was Hagerstown, Maryland. I was like, oh my gosh. And it had her address, and that address, I think it was like Radcliffe Avenue. That is where my grandparents used to live and my dad lived when he was little. It's a small world. If I ever meet her, she doesn't live there anymore. I think she lives in Pennsylvania, but I'm gonna mention it to her. So born and raised in Hagerstown, Maryland, and then we came down to the DC area for my husband's job. Traffic is horrible in Northern Virginia and Maryland around Washington. You got millions of people coming in every day for work, so you can't live far out. An hour's drive from Hagerstown to DC would probably take you 2.5 hours one way. So we bit the bullet and sold our house and moved down here into a condo that was actually built for government workers and military officers during World War II. My dog, that scamp, sorry. Someone's coming into our building. There's 2 units up and 2 units down, and he likes to greet them all. But the condo was built for people that worked at the Pentagon when they built the Pentagon during World War II. We're about a mile from the Pentagon. So, let's see. A few of my favorites. My favorite color is green. This green. I just drank a bit of water and I got a little water right here, sorry. My favorite food is a club sandwich on wheat toast. Hold the tomatoes. If I could be an animal, I'm an animal lover, so if I could be an animal, I would want to be a large cat, like a tiger. They can run fast, they can jump. Apex predator, nothing's gonna mess with them. I'd be happy. I'd be happy. Hobbies. I like to hike. We go into nearby Shenandoah National Park. It's beautiful. This area is beautiful. I'm a little biased, but you hear a lot about, oh, those DC, those crazy people at the Capitol, but it really is filled with people who are on top of their game in many areas of government and private sector. I like to read, and I'm a history buff. The book I am reading right now, I'm using it to hold up my tripod, so I'm kind of afraid to move it. Hold on 1 second. I'll hold that there. It's called The Sacred Year by Michael Yankowski. It is an amazing book. I'm a Christian, and it is a faith-based book. And basically, he becomes a little disillusioned with his life as a Christian motivational speaker, not because of his faith in the Lord, but just life. Sometimes we just get disillusioned. And so he spends a year working with a monk and practicing. It says it's focused on engagement with spiritual practices, both ancient and modern. And it helped contemplating apples for an hour before tasting them. That's attentiveness. Eating on just $2 a day, simplicity. So it's about an intentional life. So it's a very good book. I recommend it. I bought it on Amazon, and you can get it there. Okay, I'm gonna put my tripod back up. Okay. That's what I'm reading right now. But my favorite book, other than the Bible, is The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Anything from C.S. Lewis, but that's my favorite. It's actually my favorite movie, too. They did a really good job. Disney did a great job. Some other favorite movies are The Patriot, Signs. They're both with Mel Gibson. That's just a coincidence. But they're both from Mel Gibson. And, Still Magnolias is pretty good. So I live in DC, which brings me to a few things. I was wondering, and what really kept me from joining Flosstube was, what can I bring to the table? And this area is filled with opportunity, and not everybody can come and visit. And when they do visit, sometimes they don't see the mass amounts of museums or research facilities. You just don't have the time. But I want to take you on some field trips. I want to take you, and I plan to take you to George Washington GW University's Textile Museum. You may have never heard of it, but it's a pretty amazing place. I want to take you to the Smithsonian. I mean, the Smithsonian does it right every time. They're like Disney. They just do top-notch work. We may go to Mount Vernon, the home of George Washington. And when we go to these places, I'm going to highlight some old textiles, some old needlework, and maybe some new. In fact, at the end of this video, I have some footage that I shot last year at the Smithsonian on the National Mall. My son and I go to the Smithsonian Folklife Festival every year. And the Folklife Festival is where the Smithsonian invites 2 countries to come and set up shop. You learn their arts, their culture, their food. The countries literally come over. And they have people from the countrymen, and then also people that were born and raised but maybe live here in the United States that just educate you. It's amazing. The first year we went, it's a tradition for my son and I, and I'm always looking for opportunities to, if he agrees to go with me somewhere, I'm gonna go. So the first year was China that we attended, and this Folklife Festival has been going on for 50-some years. And the first year was China because my son was interested in martial arts. He had seen the new Karate Kid movie that had come out. And so you can take classes, anybody, you know, if you're in the crowd, you can come up, you can join in and all kinds of things. And so there was a martial arts expert, and so he got to enjoy learning a few things from from an expert. And while we were there, the Chinese embroiderers were there. And my 11-year-old looked at me and said, "That's really cool, Mom. You should do that." Let me tell you, their work was amazing. And it sort of inspired me. I thought, well, you know, I used to cross stitch. I think I might get back into it. And I found a local, my local cross stitch needlework store, L&S, is in Stitches. It's in Alexandria, Virginia, and it is top notch. And we will take a tour sometime of that place and meet the ladies there. It's been around for, I think, for like 30 years. They're good. They're good ladies, good people. And so I started cross stitching again. Let me take you back to the Folklife Festival and the video I made. This past year, Armenia was one of the countries that exhibited their work. And the neat thing is these artisans are working on their work, working on whatever they do. And then the Smithsonian curates all of that work and then makes it available to you in a marketplace. And I have some videos of that as well. But I wanted to video the Armenian ladies in their cross stitch and their embroidery, and I did so. The field trip at the end of this video is loud. I'm an amateur, and I filmed it with my phone, but I think you'll really be blessed by these women and the history of why they do the embroidery that they do and how it provided for their families in very bleak times, provided the financial opportunities for them to feed their families. So you'll meet two of those ladies and one of their friends. Okay, I'm looking here. Oh, I thought I would have a little portion of what I'm thinking about today. What I'm thinking about today, this is just for fun. I'm a Marylander at heart. I know a crab cake when I see one, and I know a good crab cake when I see one. And maybe I'll teach you and share a recipe with you sometimes about how to eat crabs. Marylanders have three things that we're very proud of, even though I live in Virginia. We love our Baltimore Orioles. Love our baseball. If we get sick, we go to Johns Hopkins. Don't want to mess with anybody else? You're really sick? Go to Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore. The other thing, of course, is crabs. We know them. So I had this great little crab magnet on my fridge, and today I noticed, don't know how this happened, but it's missing one of its legs. It was torn off. And I just thought that was very appropriate for a Marylander's home, that if there's a crab in our house, it's going to be missing its legs. Apropos if it's a magnet or the real deal. It's going to get eaten. Don't know how that happened though with that magnet. Some things I'm working on. Like I said, I cross-stitched when I was little and got back into it. It's just my favorite hobby, craft. I've rugged hooked, crochet, do a little drawing, but it's really cross-stitch and needlework that I come back to, and I stitch in hand the sewing method. So, a few things I'm working on. And by the way, I'm a slow stitcher, I'm a messy stitcher, but it gets done and I have fun. It gets done, I have fun. And the patterns, when I'm done with them, are a mess. But I'm working on this. It is from 2003, and it is a birth sampler. And isn't that pretty? I changed it around just a little bit. But this is going to go to my great niece that was just born a week and a half ago. Hello, Maya Riley. She was born in Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Her mom and dad, or her dad serves in the Army. And this is what I have done. And I like filled in the flowers. And I think what I'm going to do, I didn't put a few of the motifs, like it was like a star motif here. I think I'm going to put a little cross here. Yeah, and I think I'm going to put like God bless or Jesus loves Milo Riley. So, I don't know. I play around with patterns. I think that's okay. I think that's okay. The other one, I went to my needlework store yesterday and I saw this pattern. I think it was on Fiber Talks. They went through and they interviewed people at the Nashville market. And I saw this and I had to have it. And my needlework shop had it in. It's from the Blue Flower and it's You May Approach. Life with Cats, Royal Audience. And I have 2 cats. I love them. They're my best friends. When I'm out, I'm wondering and about, not at home, I'm wondering what they're doing. Do you? I don't know. But one of my cats doesn't like, you can see there, the cat there, she's like right there saying, hey, you may approach. One of my cats, that's just my cat, Mary. She's kind, but she's a little testy, so we say. But she loves and us, and she especially loves my husband, which is funny because he was never really a cat person, always a dog person, but he has fallen in love with Mary. And so every night she gets on my husband's lap, and it's a chair much like this, but it's orange. So I'm making that chair orange, and I'm going to make the cat black and white, so I'm personalizing it a little bit. And the blanket they use is always gray, so I'm going to make the blanket gray. So that's a surprise for him. I started it last night, so I don't have a lot done. Oops. And I put it on like a, I don't know, I'm really bad at like what the counts are. I usually don't go over 32 count though because I'm getting older. 44, almost 44. I'm gonna need to get new glasses. But I started the, like I said, not a lot done, but I started the chair, and it's like actually a greenish sage-ish linen, and I think it's a 28. My needlework store sells remnants, so you see it's just a piece that they had in a bag, and I bought that. So he'll like that because he likes his Mary, and Mary likes him. The other piece I'm working on, and I usually don't do too many pieces at once. This is sort of rare for me. I'm usually a one-piece kind of girl at a time, but I thought I'd have some fun. It's Be Still and Know. Oops, can't see the pattern. It's Be Still and Know. I don't have the other piece with me to show the picture. And it's from My Big Toe. Basically, oh, I wish I had a picture, but basically it's some flowers, and down here it's going to say, be still and know that I am God. But I have some tulips done, and this was a piece called Red Pear from somebody. I like it. I like the colors. I don't know if you can see the color, but it's like a coral, kind of like a faded coral. Next time I will definitely make notations when I know I'm making a video of the fabric I'm using. I think I use my stash on that. Weeks Colorworks, that sort of thing. I like Weeks Color. I like them all. I like them all. So I got a few things lately. I was again watching the, can't talk. The interviews from Nashville, and Kitten Stitcher, who is hilarious and funny and very knowledgeable, who I watch, was talking about how Stacey Nash, his daughter, makes these, takes the beeswax and makes these thread waxers, I guess you call them. And this little girl is saving up for a horse, how can I not help a little girl buy a horse? And I thought this one was so cute. I saw it in when she panned her camera over the little girl's creations, and look at that. That's gonna last me forever. So I got on Etsy and I bought one. It smells good too. It smells like honey, and but not overpowering. I let my cat smell it. That was hilarious. I wish I would have had a picture of that when she smelled it. So, I want to show you a picture that a piece that I've done. Most of the things that I do, I give to my family and as gifts. And this one I had done, it's from Little House Needleworks, and it's the very first piece of my reintroduction to cross stitch. It's not perfect. Like I said, I'm slow, I'm messy. But I did this piece for my pastor and his wife and 3 little boys as a gift for Easter. But I didn't finish till June. So I'm going to give it to this wonderful family. They have since been transferred to another church, but I'm going to send it to them. And it says, "He is not here, he is risen." Again, it's Little House Needleworks. I like that. So that's one that's going to be sent. Okay, so my stash. Went to the needlework shop yesterday. That's a dangerous thing. I don't tell my husband when I go. But the ladies told me and assured me that I would be able to stitch on gauze. It says 40 count gauze that goes with it, called My Refuge. I believe this is new from Erica Michaels, and new this at the market, I believe. It says 2018. It comes with the gauze. I'm sure you'll be able to see it very well. They say it'll work. They say I can do it on a 10 stitch over with one strand. I'll let you know how that goes. But I just really think that's pretty. He shall cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you shall take refuge. I got these at Hobby Lobby. There is no Hobby Lobby around where I live, but they are opening one soon in Alexandria. If that one did not exist or come into existence, I would have to travel about an hour and a half. I know. But I was up in Hagerstown visiting my parents over the weekend. We have a little place up there. And I always go to Hobby Lobby. And these are, I don't know if you can see it very well, but they look like a miniature little cube. They are 1 1/16 inches by 2.5 inches. And I thought I would make them, well, you could do a lot with them, but they had them around their needlework section, and I thought I would make that into like a little, I don't know now, maybe I will, maybe I won't. I thought I would make it into a pen that a person could wear with their initials. I don't know, it might be a little too big, I don't know, or maybe like a pumpkin pen, so for some of my family. They were cute. They were really inexpensive. I think they were like $3.99, and you get a pack of 8 pieces. Back to the needlework store. I saw this and I just loved it. I love hippos too. So it's called The London Zoo by Kathy Barrick. Isn't that pretty? I love the whimsy. I like primitive with something whimsy in it. One of my favorite designers is Heart Street Samplery, and I think she does that a lot. So, but this is Kathy Barrick, and I'm going to work on that. Talking about Heart Street Samplery, my next, when I finish the 3 that I'm working on, when I finish the cat, and I finish Be Still and Know, and I finish the Burst Sampler the next few weeks, I got something big to do. It's her Apostles' Creed. and you probably can't see that very well, but it has the verbiage of the Apostles' Creed and an angel and some pretty border bands. And this one's gonna be for me. I'm gonna keep that myself. I don't usually like stitching too many letters at a time, so that'll be little by little. Done. It'll be mine, I think. Talking about Heart Street Samplery, I made this for my husband. This is my Always in My Heart from her. It's for a memory of his grandparents, who were wonderful people and very instrumental in his life. My husband had a kind of a rough go of it in his family, but his grandparents stepped up and were very beneficial and loving to him. They're Chet and Leora Bannon, and they passed away. They have since passed away, but I changed it around a little bit. The colors are all different. And instead, she has where you can put a picture, where you cut out a little bit of the linen and put a picture. But I just bought this little charm from Michael's and attached it with some thread. Oh, here comes Lily. There's her whisker. Hey, Lily. You want to meet my good little girl? She's so sweet. Hey, hi. She's 1 year old. 1 year old. She turned 1 on March the 5th, and she's just the sweetest thing. Yes, you are. We rescued her. Well, got her from a rescue. One of the great things about living here in Northern Virginia is that the local humane societies, and they have many local rescue organizations that partner with some animal controls and different rescues that are outside the area, maybe in southern, they go the whole way to down south, Southern Virginia. And Lily is from, it's called Lancaster County, Virginia, which is on the, I think it's the lower neck, the middle neck of Virginia. It's a very rural area. In fact, talking about animals, the Arlington Animal Welfare League is amazing, wonderful facility. My son and I, my son wants to work with animals, and he wants to maybe become a veterinarian. He's not sure yet. He's going to take biology up in college, but when he was 12, him and I, we volunteered at the Animal Welfare League of Arlington, and we worked with the dogs. They have so many volunteers that you have to wait until they have room for more volunteers. And their dogs, they would have hardly any dogs in the shelter unless they brought them in from other areas. So we're a very dog friendly and cat friendly community. And we have a lot of people here that want to bring an animal that needs a home into their home and make them part of their family. So Lily is from a local rescue, as is my other cat. And our dogs, someday I'll show you a picture of the dogs. They're just little dogs, and we've had them forever, since before we moved to DC. So they did not come from a local rescue here, because we had them from before. That's it for today. And I am going to try to put the video, the field trip that we're going to go on, I'm going to try to attach it, and hopefully it will work. And remember, it's very amateurish, but I think you'll get to experience and meet another needle maker, needle worker, excuse me, from a different part of the world. We're a sisterhood, aren't we? God bless you, and have a great day. made in Africa from flip-flops that wash up on the shore. Isn't that cool? Beautiful.
Thank you.
Do you do that design? Do you write it on? Do you mark the design yourself, or does it come marked?
Yes, but
Okay.
all design it's very. I take from work of my grandmother work it,
Okay.
and I take design from them.
All right. Your grandmother's
Or
design.
yes, because traditional design I keep this design.
Keep the traditional design.
Yes. Example, this design, all this, it's very traditional, all design, Armenian design.
Beautiful.
Thank you. This Marash needlework.
How long have you been doing embroidery and needlework?
Sometimes when I'm a little girl, I cannot walk, but I can take needle and thread
Right?
and try to do something.
Wow. It's
But
beautiful.
the most professional works begins at 18, 19.
Right.
When I was 18, 19, I began five needles to work.
Wow.
Like knitting.
Knitting.
Like knitting.
Okay.
Knitting crochet, then begin to other works.
Wow. Look at that. We call it tani. It's beautiful. Yeah. Is this your family?
No, a friend.
Okay. Hi.
Member of Armenian group.
All right. Very good. All right. Thank you. Bye. Is that on a silk gauze? Is that on gauze?
Silk thread and silk fabric.
Wow, I'm videoing you because for my guild at home. Wow, thank my needlework guild. That's beautiful. I know how I do linen. I don't do gauze. It's too hard for me. Too hard.
Not hard. You can try.